In this video, I have a great new selection of everyday carry gear that has just been released. So lock up your credit cards, sit back and enjoy. Nitecore have just released their new flagship torch or flashlight, and this is it, the EDC37. But is it any good? Well, it incorporates all their recent innovations and the styling that makes up their current EDC range, but this one is a new, shorter and stubbier design. We have the familiar dual lens utilising Nitecore's very capable multi-LED array, and a wider body, which means wider reflectors, and that means more coverage and a longer range, which is an impressive 420 meters. The wider body also means a bigger battery, which is 8,000 milliamp hour, a lot for a compact handheld. That gives you longer duration. It's not though replaceable, which I know for some will be a deal breaker. We also have the Nitecore patented slider lock, which is something I really like, and this switches the light off in an instant and prevents accidental activation in a pocket or bag. We also have the high strength stainless steel body with a hard PVD coating, dual tactical tail switches, and the familiar and substantial pocket or belt clip. And under this flap here we have a USB-C socket for fast charging. And then we have a feature which always sets Nitecore apart, and that is their impressive OLED display. This shows the battery level and the selected light level, and most importantly the battery duration. And that means you can see if you have enough battery power to get you home and adjust the light output accordingly if not. It also means you can pre-select the required light level. I'm selecting 100 lumens here before switching it on, avoiding the need to light up everything around you whilst trying to choose the right brightness. The lowest light level is 15 lumens, which you have direct access to, and that will last for 190 hours on a single charge. Then you have 100 lumens, which will easily get you home and is good for 30 hours. And you also have 400 and 1500 lumen light levels. And then you have two special light modes. There is a search mode, which gives you a 3000 lumen beam, and something Nitecore called Lumen Shield, which is a wide area floodlight with an output of 8,000 lumens, which I have to say is extremely bright, as you can see by these night shots. And this is to floodlight an area or blind an attacker, and you have direct access to both of these modes via the flush mounted tail switch. Now you can also swap out one of these modes for a strobe if you want, but for me I prefer a fixed light. And like turbo modes from other makers, these are for short bursts only to prevent overheating, and usefully the burst duration is highlighted by that display. There is also one new feature which we've not seen before with the earlier models, and that is the addition of silicon nitride ceramic tips for glass breaking. These though can be changed out for normal screws if preferred, which I'm told will be included in the box. Things that might count against this are an IP54 rating, so splash proof rather than waterproof, no moonlight mode, that fixed battery, and the price, which is expected to be around $120 or £110. But for that you do get a high quality, compact, super bright light that is intuitive to use with long run times, and that great display, making this one of my favourite new flashlights of 2025. Sharge makes some of the most interesting power banks on the market, and I've featured several of them before on the channel. But this next one has a new feature which I've not seen before. This is the Icemag 2 power bank, and Sharge are the sponsor of this video, so a huge thank you to them for supporting the channel. The Icemag 2 follows the transparent futuristic design language they are known for, and which I really like. And viewers will know I'm a big fan of carrying a power bank on my travels with the aim of keeping my phone charged, without which everything gets a lot more challenging. And the Icemag 2 here is designed with exactly that in mind. It can charge your MagSafe phone wirelessly or your Android phone with a compatible MagSafe case, attaching in an instant, which then immediately starts charging, and which is much more convenient than having cables trailing, especially if you're on the move. And the Icemag 2 supports the 15-watt Qi 2 charging standard, which is 2 times faster than the standard Qi charging. Then we have a feature that sets this MagSafe power bank apart, and that is a dual cooling system. It's both an active cooling fan and a full aluminium backplate for passive cooling, which when combined avoids heat buildup and enables faster and longer lasting charging. This fan can be seen through the transparent case, which thanks to a colour changing LED glows when in use, further enhancing those cool futuristic vibes. And despite the compact dimensions, this has a capacity of 10,000 milliamp hour, and that's more than most MagSafe power banks and more than enough for a full phone charge and more, and also well within airline carry-on limitations. In addition, there's also a two-way USB-C socket on the base, which allows the power bank to be fully charged in just 1.5 hours, and that's great if you have limited access to mains charging on your travels. And this socket is also used for charging your phone or other devices using a USB-C cable, and you get this short one included, outputting at up to 30 watts for even faster charging if needed. There's also a multi-angled built-in kickstand, so you can use the phone or perhaps watch a movie whilst the phone is charging in both portrait or landscape, ideal if you're on a plane or a train or even at home. There's also a low power mode for low current devices and pass-through charging, so you can charge your phone and the power bank at the same time, say at the end of the day. So a great looking and practical pocket and pouch friendly power bank that is ready to travel when you are. And I'll include links to the Icemag 2 in the description below. And thanks again to Sharge for supporting the channel. And Design, a channel favourite when it comes to high quality EDC gear, have just introduced this. This is the titanium E1V2 multifunctional Prybar. This nice looking Prybar also doubles up as a large flathead screwdriver and scraper tool with a precision edge. And being titanium, it is lightweight at just 42 grams or 1.5 ounces and pretty tough too. And it features a recessed spirit level along with a 1/4 inch driver socket, and it has a spring-loaded compartment which holds a single 1/4 inch bit of your choice. 3 bits are included, and your chosen bit is held in place magnetically both in the compartment as well as in the driver socket itself. On the side we have a small diamond file, which is good for fingernails as well as blade touch-ups, and there's also a pocket clip with a recess for a tritium tube if that's your thing, in which case they're also available from Ant Design. The pocket clip here can be attached to the back or the side or removed altogether. And then finally we have a lanyard hole and some short ruler markings. So lots to like here, and that includes the price, which comes in at £45 or $59, which is not at all bad for a decent chunk of titanium. We get sent a lot of Find My Tracker devices here at the channel, but this InCard version stands out in a very crowded market. For a start, it works with both Android Find My device and Apple's Find My, and this is determined on the initial setup, which in my case is Apple and takes just a few seconds. Also, this one doesn't shout tracker or anything electronic for that matter. This could easily be a room card for a hotel, for example. And that more discreet approach is a benefit, I feel, when it comes to those types who might quickly discard a tracker on finding a bag or wallet that they are thinking about keeping. Also, it's thin at just 1.8 millimeters, not much different from the thinnest I've ever come across, which was just 1.7 millimeters. And it is the lightest I've come across so far at just 13 grams, which is less than half an ounce. It also makes a decent sound considering there are no holes in this thing, a feature which also helps to make it fully waterproof. Now, interestingly, this one is not rechargeable, but what you do get is a quoted battery life of up to 5 years, which is pretty impressive. So if you want to put this somewhere difficult to access and just leave it, or you want the minimum amount of hassle, then this could be the one, and expect to pay less than £30 or dollars. The next one is also from Ant Design and is actually a combination of two different items. First, we have a very nice titanium mini pen weighing in at just 21 grams or 3/4 of an ounce. And this has a fidgety bolt action mechanism, lots of design detail, and features a quality Lamy M22 refill. Then combine that with the Ant Design quick release Q1V2 keyring mechanism, which I've featured before on the channel and which is one of the best in the business. And you now have a very nice quick release pen that can attach to, say, a neck worn lanyard or bag, key leash or keyring. The mechanism is super secure and locks in place, unlike a basic magnet to magnet attachment which can easily pull off. But when you do need to use the pen, the mechanism allows for quick single-handed detachment just by pulling down on the collar. And then it'll reattach by itself using strong magnets for alignment, and as you can see, it works really well. So if you need quick access to a very nice mini pen that you don't want to lose, then it's hard to imagine a better solution. As for the price, expect to pay around £53 or $69. Maxpedition, makers of some of my favourite and most used pouches, have just introduced two new and very different pouches, and I have them here. These have the name Platy, and there are two sizes on offer, 4x6 inch and 5x7 inch, and they come in 4 colour options, of which I have 2 here. These are pocket organisers, so designed to keep your EDC gear all together, and they're designed to drop into a pocket or bag, or it seems with the inclusion of the paracord lanyard, they can be worn around the neck or across the body. The lanyard can easily be removed though if not needed, and there is a small but useful grab handle at the top of the pouch. The material used is a 500D nylon, which is water resistant and not too stiff, and as we've come to expect from Maxpedition, everything feels well made with use of quality components like these YKK zippers with practical paracord zip pulls. The pouches are slim at around ½ an inch thick, and they have a full-sized enclosed zipped compartment with a bit of volume and various sleeves front and back, as well as elasticated straps to hold a wide variety of tools, knives, flashlights, pens and so on. And there's also a full width sleeve which is designed for a notebook, and it did cross my mind that it could also be used to hold a phone, although the small one is a bit on the short side and the larger one is a bit wide. In short, these are a great option if you prefer a more open and accessible pouch with quick and easy access to your most used gear. And prices will run from around £19 to £23 or dollars depending on the size and colour. And whilst on the subject of Maxpedition, it seems late last year they launched a new mini pocket organiser which I appear to have missed. The Maxpedition mini organiser, which is the one I have here, is one of their most popular pouches and one I've used on several of my kits, like this outdoor kit here, which incidentally I plan to update soon. And then we have the new version, which you might think looks exactly the same, but that would be missing this. Yes, we have a whole new zipped compartment on the back, which is why this new version is called the double-decker mini pocket organiser. And the new compartment is simple, and I like that. What we have here is a mesh sleeve on the back panel, and then we have an open space with a decent 1-inch depth for larger items that are not going to work with sleeves and elasticated loops. Something, say, like my pocket EDC kit here. Everything else is the same as the original mini, which is great, as there's a reason it's a bestseller. And the price I think is pretty good too, coming in at around £26 or dollars. I still use a notebook for jotting down ideas and sketches, and if you do too, you might be interested in this latest release from Noble Crafters, which is the Noble Note. This is a compact notebook with a built-in pen that attaches to your phone using MagSafe, so you always have it close to hand, which means it can also attach to other metal surfaces like a fridge, for example. And those magnets also keep the cover securely closed. The pen cleverly telescopes to full size when you slide it up, up and it shrinks back down again when you put it away, which is a really nice feature. And it uses D1 refills, which are readily available, and I've found these to be really nice for sketching. The paper pad, which simply pushes into place, consists of 40 sheets of Japanese recycled paper, which at 130 grams per square meter is nice and thick and really nice to write on. And there's the addition of a short ruler along the edge here, which is where the pen locates. And if you thought this looks familiar, then you might have seen Noble Crafter's first iteration of their MagSafe notebook, the Side Notes, which is sold all over the world and is this one here. This new version has stronger magnets for a more secure attachment and improved pen storage, removal of the aluminium frame which got in the way when writing, and the new ruler feature. If you are a prolific note taker, you might find this a little bit too small and fiddly, but for those who like to jot down the odd sketch or note on the go, then this is a very neat solution. As I film this is just coming to the end of a Kickstarter campaign and is costing around $70 or £50, which includes 3 refill pads. I don't review a lot of pure knives on this channel, as there are lots of knife focused channels with more experience who can do a better job, but this one caught my eye because of the unusual design and customization. It's called Kameta and it's from Pichi, who are a Canadian-based industrial design company who innovate in the EDC space and manufacture in Canada. It has a smooth flipper action and a 2.8-inch tanto blade and a liner lock, and you'll have to check your local knife laws to see if this can be carried legally in your country. The frame is titanium and therefore very lightweight, coming in at just 63 grams, and as you can see, the design incorporates a lanyard loop at the base. The blade is made from Japanese VG10 steel, which is a good mid-range steel, and we have options of a stonewashed finish and a Damascus clad finish, which is the one I have here with this very nice wavy pattern from the folded steel. The scales here though are what really sets this knife apart, because they can be changed easily in just a couple of minutes with lots of different options to choose from. And this is the knife minus any scales, and those scales consist of 3 parts on each side, and to attach them you simply press on the larger piece first, followed by the center piece, which slide locks into position and holds the large piece in place, and then you attach the final piece with 2 T6 screws, and that's it. And you can purchase the scales in G10, which is the ones I have here, and there's also titanium and fibre reinforced nylon in a variety of colours, as well as carbon fibre. And you can also choose a different style for the centerpiece, which is what I have here, as well as mix and match all the different elements. And you can also add the included small wire pocket clip, which is held in place with the screw mounted element of the scales, and which looks like this. So lots of options here to create your own unique combination. As for the price, it starts at around £120 or $160, and then you have all the different variations and prices to choose from. Wuben, who are becoming well known for very affordable and very well featured flashlights, are just in the final stages of a Kickstarter campaign for this, the X4. And there is a lot going on here with this flashlight, as you can probably see. So let's have a closer look. It feels compact and very solid in the hand and is nicely detailed and made from the usual anodized aluminium. Starting with the side here, we have a tough belt or pocket clip, and then on the top we have a main push button switch with a combined control wheel to adjust the light level, and there's also a slider switch to access the different light sources, from lock to side light to main light to moonlight. And switching to moonlight also gives access to the USB-C charging socket, which is otherwise hidden. Then on the other side we have a side light with 6 warm LEDs for ambient light and an RGB light with various multicolour flashing modes. Then on the bottom we have a lock-in battery release, and the base pops open to reveal a replaceable single 18650 battery, and this one offers a decent 3400 mAh capacity, which means you can easily carry a spare and extend the operation of the light. The base is also magnetic, as well as allowing for tail standing, and features a clicky tail switch which brings on the main light at full brightness or strobe or moonlight. depending on which light source is selected. And then looking at the main light itself, you can see we have a rather interesting 4 LED lens array, which gives you a mix of short range flood and long range beam simultaneously, and all the LEDs come on all of the time. The maximum output is 1500 lumens with a quoted range of 205 meters, and the minimum level is moonlight, which here is 3 lumens, and you have access to everything in between thanks to that rotary control. And that 3 lumens is good for 285 hours on a single charge. The white side light goes from 1 lumen, good for 720 hours on a single charge, and ramps up to a surprisingly bright 100 lumens. And then you have the RGB light, and with this you can pick your color and then make it flash, and you also have access to 3 combination flash modes. And if all that wasn't enough, the light has an IP68 rating, making it fully waterproof. Now there is a bit of a learning curve with the operation, more with the side light than anything else, but it's not too bad. So there is a lot to like here, as this light seems to do a bit of everything, and it appears well made, and I think it looks very cool too. But perhaps the most impressive element here is the price, because this thing is listed on Kickstarter as I filmed this for the equivalent of just £33 or $44, which to me seems like seriously good value. And I see that over 4,000 X4s have already been backed, which is not at all surprising. And if you've enjoyed this lineup, then you might want to check out this other new gear selection if you've not already seen it. And that's it for this one. Thank you as always for watching, and I hope you can join me next time.